ball, and Bayern just defended as a unit. Even Harry Kane, Karl, everybody, when they were off the ball, they were perfect. They put the pressure on the defense of Real Madrid, and everywhere you go, you will see a red shirt clouding you up. So that I think helped them. And we know Company is very good defensively, and attacking wise, Olise helped that is off that of him. Kane still on fire, got a beautiful goal yesterday. Diaz out of this world. So it was just exciting, and yesterday Bayern Munich outclassed Real Madrid, and Arbeloa was schooled by Company.
Yeah. You put on a red jacket, and you know, Bayern Munich also wore their red jersey yesterday. She's a Real Madrid fan. So I want to ask you, you know, what did not work for Arbeloa yesterday? The tactics, the technique, or the players did not just come to play to get the win at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium?
See, the match between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich yesterday, it was more or less two different encounters in one. Because if you notice, during the first 60 minutes, Bayern Munich were the one dominating the entirety of the game. And then there was a switch in the 30 minutes by Real Madrid were trying to get some chances and just trying to score. And I just say that it is very, very exhilarating and fascinating to see. But the thing is that during that 60 minutes, one thing I noticed was that I don't think that Real Madrid were the plan to actually defend it that deep. Because in the early encounter, you notice that even because when the players noticed the number of intensity that Bayern Munich were bringing into the counter, even Mbappe did join the back and even Vinicius. So it was compacted, and Real Madrid's players were sort of like boxed in the Real Madrid's half. But then, and that led to both goals being scored, because it was more or less that the two goals came from the midfield, and because the wingers were also packed up in Real Madrid's half, there was no way for them to actually get the ball off the field of play and get the players to moving on into the Bayern Munich half. So I think that was the tactical changes that Alvaro made later in the second half, which led to the goal being scored, you know, telling Mbappe and both Vinicius to move down the flank so as to allow the goals to spread. Because when they move behind the back line of Bayern Munich, you know, it will force the defenders themselves to actually move forward, thereby creating space in Real Madrid's half. And that led to the first goal being scored. And then I think the atmosphere sort of changed in the stadium. There were a lot of intensity, and Bayern Munich were not sort of expecting that. But eventually, despite the fact that Real Madrid did push and create a number of chances, they had Manuel Neuer on goal, who actually created 9 saves at his age. You know, he's 40 years old, still creating that kind of fantastic, as you mentioned, even took us back to 2014 at his top level, whatever is cementing his position as one of the best goalkeepers of this generation. So I'll say that the match is still open. Both teams, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, had tremendous number of opportunities to actually kill off the game, especially Bayern Munich in the first half of the encounter. But then Real Madrid tried to, but they were unable to. So I will say that going into the second game at the Allianz Arena, it's not going to be an easy match, because Bayern Munich will be playing in front of their own fans, and this is a side that already has just one loss in the Bayern Munich and the Bundesliga this season. They have 100 goals scored, and they're about to break the goal record that they set themselves in the 1971-72 season, 101 goals. So it's not going to be easy for Real Madrid, but it's going to happen this way. Bayern Munich will be playing in front of their fans. They have the home advantage, and this is a side that has been scoring lots of goals. At the same time, Real Madrid will be heading into the encounter knowing that, okay, they lost by 2-1. If it was 2-0, then it would have been bad, but it is still open. You know, they have the opportunity to actually learn from their mistakes. That 1v1, that opportunity that Vinicius had, you know that, okay, this time around, it's not something that's supposed to happen. Normally, Vinicius is supposed to score that goal. So going into this game, they'll step into this encounter knowing that, okay, we have made a number of mistakes here. We have to rectify those mistakes and make sure that eventually we're able to perform some sort of remontada. It might be possible, it might not be. It is, but at the same time, it's not about being a Madrid fan. It is a contested match. We can't actually predict who is going to win or who is going to lose.
They closed the roof of the Bernabeu yesterday.
We can't predict. It's still very much open for me. So yes.
Yes, it's still very much open. But I feel Bayern will still in second leg. I thought Madrid would ride on the Bernabeu, because yesterday, like I said, Madrid will have a slight advantage, but I still saw Bayern qualifying to the semi-finals at the end of the day due to the gulf in class between Company and Arbeloa. But the first leg didn't go Madrid. Yes, second leg is going to be exciting for me as a neutral, but Bayern will still go at the end of the day.
All right, and that's the update and top-notch analysis, you know, from the game between Madrid and Bayern. Let's move swiftly because of our time. We're going to discuss about Arsenal, but something fascinating happened yesterday. Now, England will have at least 5 teams in the Champions League next season. And it could be more if Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa are still in the Europa League. A victory for either will secure a 6th spot. And let me also inform you that the unthinkable 7th spot is also possible if Liverpool wins the Champions League but fails to finish in the Premier League top 5. Now, Arsenal opened that door yesterday. Let me start off with Nurudi once again. A victory for Mikel Arteta after that back-to-back loss. You know, they showed class, they showed, top-notch resilience, mental state of mind, right in check for them. Got the victory right there in Sporting Lisbon.
Yes, it was a very beautiful match. Both sides had their jobs cut out for them. Both the coach had nice defensive setup for the game, so he didn't allow much of attacking players to get the chance. But Arsenal, they edged at the end of the day. They got a goal rightly chalked off around the 68th minute. Gyökeres was in offside position before he got the pass from Madueke, and at the end of the day, Kai Havertz was able to put the ball in the back of the net. But yesterday, Arsenal showed class, and that's what you expect from Sporting. Sporting have not lost at home in a while. The last time they lost was against Porto, I think in 2025, and in the Champions League this season, they haven't lost a game. They played 5 games at home, even played the defending champions, and still lose a match. But Arsenal coming back from that back-to-back defeat, their quadruple dreams were halved into a double, and now they can take something back from that result and go into the Emirates to say, okay, we are still leading this time, we are champions, and that's what you expect from an Arsenal side. Yes, they were the favourites to win the game yesterday. The midfield was packed. Odegaard, he did 1 or 2 things. Even though I didn't like the way he approached the game, he made a lot of back passes, and that's not what you want from your main attacking threat. He had to pull the ball into the opponent's half. Why? There was a point in the game the monitor raised the concern that out of the last 5 times Odegaard has had the ball,
he has taken it back.
That's not what. And you see the likes of Madueke trying to penetrate the defense. Taking on defenders one-on-one, 1v1s, taking them on, trying to put the ball in the back of the net, and Gyökeres and co clustering themselves. The goal was engineered by Martinelli. Very beautiful pass, and Havertz cool, calm and collected in front of the ball. He put the ball in the back of the net, and that was the advantage for Arsenal yesterday.
You know, I do have an opposition there. I'll say that the match between Arsenal and Sporting was the least exhilarating encounter. That's because I feel like Arsenal was somewhat slow, and the match was somewhat cagey for me. Personally, I would expect that for a team that has lost the 2 chances at clinching, 2 trophies, and they are fighting for the remaining 2, you would expect that they're going to bring a lot of fireworks and a lot of intensity into this encounter. But no, it was pretty much slow and it was somewhat cagey. And at some point, Sporting nearly had an advantage to scoring 30 minutes of the game. That was when Usman, actually kind of like passed it down to Araujo, but Raya was there to save the day. And even Arteta said it in a post-match conference that in their next match, they know that there are a lot of things to fix. They will try to be more crispy, try to be faster and sharper. So he himself saw that the boys weren't actually putting in much of fire as we were going to expect in the match against Sporting. And I will say that it was a good that they secured a win against Sporting though, because Sporting hadn't lost any Champions League match at home since 2023, but they themselves were able to go down to Portugal and they were able to secure it. You know, what happened to Bordeaux when they came down to Portugal and secured that win. So I'll say that going into the next match, Sporting will be heading there knowing that, okay, this is everything. This is Arsenal, the team that wants to win the Premier League. That is Arsenal. Raya was there to save the day a number of times.
You won't expect a coach. This Sporting, like I mentioned as well, Sporting have not lost a game at home this season. They played against PSG. They played against a host of teams in this competition. You won't expect them to come all out against Sporting at home. And I said it, both teams came with defensive setups, proper defensive setup. That is what has kept Sporting Lisbon at the 4. When they hit you on the counter, they get the chance to put the ball. We saw what they did last season with Gyökeres when it was with them. They try and cage you very well in your defense and put the ball up front for after they've created space for the striker. That's how they've played. And Arsenal, we know the way Arsenal play, and it's away from home again. So you don't expect him to set up that attacking flair but he still tried his best. He put Madueke that tried. He had about 3 1v1s against the Sporting left back, and he put the ball in the middle of the park for them to score. So it was just an exciting fixture for me. I wouldn't expect much from both teams. Sporting are not that best side. Arsenal are not that exciting when they go away from home. And this is where we've complained about the form of football they've played. We said, yes, they are defensive, they rely on set pieces. But yesterday, the execution went well, brought in the players at the right time, but brought in they made the right substitution, and at the end of the day, they got the 1-0 victory away from home. That is something to back on, and going to the Emirates, I think they are the advantage, and I don't think Sporting will stand a chance at the Emirates, because I know Arsenal will play differently. They won't play with the handbrake on like they did yesterday. They would come all out to you, and if Sporting try to match them in intensity and pace, I think they will be gone in the first half of the game.
All right.
Personally, me, I won't say that. I will say that a coach tried. Normally, I was expecting Arsenal to go all in.
Arsenal can't go all out.
So my question now is, are you expecting Sporting to win at the Emirates Stadium? Is that what you're saying now?
Well, I'm not expecting Sporting to win. I know that Arsenal are going to fight a lot, even though they have one advantage. But at the same time, Sporting are going to edit to the counter. That even though they lost by a goal to nil, it is still a goal to nil, and they're going to try as much as they can to actually secure a goal in the first half. Because if they're able to actually secure that goal, it might, in a way, affect the atmosphere over there in the stadium. For Arsenal, they need to find a way to actually extend the scoreline, whether by scoring first, so as to keep up the intensity in the stadium. Because if they do not, and Sporting take the lead, it's going to lead to something disastrous, catastrophic for them.
This is Sporting were eliminated by Arsenal 5-1 last.
Okay, so
we know the way, but this is a different season.
I'm wondering where we now. Why are we still banting Sporting and Arsenal? Well, you guys are going to do me the honor right now, because what was your prediction against this game?
I said it was going to end in a draw.
In a draw. What about you?
I had none.
You had none. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna get back to that. But let me inform you that you need to grab your drinks ready. We are in for another football marathon. FC Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. They meet for the second time in just 5 days. The Catalans came out on top last time, but the games are already history. Can Simeone find his revenge tonight? Also, let me inform you that Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool. Paris host the Liverpool side still reeling from a shocking FA Cup exit after conceding 4 goals against Manchester City. And slot men have a lot to prove. Will it be a comeback for the Reds, or PSG will finish them off? Who comes up on top? That is where we are. You can make your predictions right there in the comment section. What do you think is going to edge out in this game between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, and PSG and Liverpool? But before you drop your comment, and maybe you need to take a peek and a cue, for my top-notch analyst here, what do you think about the game between FC Barcelona and Atletico Madrid?
For Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, the match that they played over the weekend, it was a tight encounter, and Atletico Madrid had a number of chances to score. I think Griezmann had 2 chances, which was going to score, but he wasn't able to convert them. And I would say that Atletico Madrid were 1 man down. They played with 10 men against an 11-man Barcelona. And based on from my own perspective, I do feel that this 10-man Atletico going against 11-man Barcelona, I would say that the 10-man Atletico was somewhat better. Than the 11-man Barcelona.
The La Liga game.
Yes, that La Liga game. We might see a different, play out in the Champions League, because even though Barcelona are more or less leading in La Liga and are trying to secure, that title, they're still going to put in a stronger foot in the Champions League as well. And as Diego Simeone said in his interview after the push, he said that it's not going to be a calm encounter, which means that he's actually going in there not just for revenge, but also with the knowledge that winning the La Liga is far off, and they have a stronger chance at winning or going further in the Champions League. So it is a tight encounter. Unlike the match between PSG and Liverpool, which is somewhat predictable, the outcome between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid isn't one that we can predict, but we know that it's going to be a tight contest, and the best team, or the team that's able to take their chances first, will eventually be the team to progress further.
All right. I want to ask you, what players should we look out for in this game for Atletico Madrid and FC Barcelona that can change the game and also give the victory for both teams?
Julian Alvarez is going to be very key. He has 4 goals and he has 8 goals, 14 goal involvement this season for Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. He has 8 goals and 7 assists, and he has created most chances for them, both from open play and both from direct play. So for Atletico Madrid, Julian Alvarez is important, and Paulo Barrios, the Mystery Maestro, is very important as well. He has created most chances and has most involvement in the attack for intensity for them. So that's very important. But one thing to take into consideration as well is Atletico Madrid have not won against Spanish opponents in the Champions League before. They've lost 4 and drew 1 against Spanish opponents in the UEFA Champions League. And one thing on the other side is Barca have been knocked out twice by Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Last 2 times they faced, and they faced 2 times before in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Only PSG have knocked out Barcelona more than Atletico Madrid. So those are stats that can back up the game tonight. So it's going to be for Barcelona. Lewandowski got the late goal that got them the victory in the La Liga over the weekend. That's very good for them. It's going to be important as well. But Rafinha and Yamal are both players that Atletico should keep an eye on. Rafinha has the highest goal involvement for Barcelona since the beginning of 23-24 season. Yamal is looking to break Haaland's record as the youngest player to have 10 goal involvements in the season. Currently has 5 goals and 4 assists. So those are players that are very important in the key attacking setup for Barcelona.
All right, that's one game to look forward to. Let's talk about Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool. Just like you said, a dead rubber game, or do you think Liverpool side can turn things around after their woe at the FA Cup?
Well, I do believe in miracles, but I'll be surprised.
In football?
Yes,
okay,
but I'll be
beautiful.
surprised to see a miracle in this encounter because I actually see PSG rather, going all the way. Because if you take a look at this PSG side going again, the PSG side that has Doué, that has Vitinha, that has Marquinhos, and Kvaratskhelia, and against this Liverpool side, whereby we have the manager was, positioned only by a thread, a defense that seems all over the place, a midfield that is not even like the way that used to be in the previous season. And we have a front line with, and should I say outperformed Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, Mohamed Salah, yeah.
And he's also coming back from, the defeat against Man City in the FA Cup over the weekend. So I will say that PSG against this Liverpool side, it's more or less the odds being against them. Looking at this PSG side and the current form and position of Liverpool, it will take a shocker for Paris Saint-Germain to lose out on this one. But anything could happen. But at the same time, I'll be surprised to actually see something happen from Liverpool against PSG.
I want to ask you, Ancelotti, what do you think needs to work for him tonight against a side like Paris Saint-Germain? Is it the midfield, is it the defense, or is it the attack? What needs to work, for him tonight if it's to get a victory at the Parc des Princes tonight?
The defense is very important for him. He had problem against Manchester City. The ever-present Van Dijk and Konate, the wall has seemed to be damaged for a while now, and they've not seemed to find a solution to that. So that's a big problem for them this season. And for PSG, they have Dembele, they have Kvaratskhelia, players that would destroy your defense and come at you with all they have just to get the victory for their team. So for me, for Liverpool tonight in the Parc des Princes, they need to defend as well as they can. We know they don't have problems creating chances on the other side. Szoboszlai is there to engineer that for them. Salah, on his good day, is going to get a goal for you. Ekitike, a former PSG player going back to the Parc des Princes, is very important for them as well. So he can score the goal. Isak also traveled with the Liverpool contingent. They have loads of options in attack. And PSG are not exactly the best defensive side in the world as well. Chelsea were able to go there in the round of 16 and score 2 goals, even though the attack was what settled the game at the end. So that's why I said the defense is very important for Liverpool tonight. They need to be able to shut them out as much as they can. Even though you concede goals, don't allow that deficit to be too much that you won't be able to overcome at Anfield next week. So, but for PSG, they've not lost to the last 6 English opponents they've played. They've played against Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and they've all defeated those 3 teams in the last 6 times they faced, both in the Club World Cup and the UEFA Champions League competition. So PSG are the clear favourites in this game, but it's going to be an exciting one to watch out for tonight.
But sorry, Nuruddin, for this match between Liverpool and PSG, will you suggest that Liverpool adopts a defensive approach, or they should try to establish a balance between both defense and attack?
You have to establish a balance, because if you sit in for a longer period of time in the game, to come out when you need to score a goal is always very difficult, because your players have been wired to try and pack the balls, defend. You won't allow compact. You won't allow your wingers or your goal scorers to be at the best positions to take lesser touches to put the ball in the back of the net, because scoring a goal requires you to be at the right place at the right time and make the right decisions as fast as possible. So you're making it difficult for your attackers to be in prime positions to help your team if you sit down for 90 minutes or 60 minutes in the game. So I feel they have to find the balance defensively, but very, very important for them. They look like a side that can overpower PSG if they go man to man and say you want to attack. So they just have to strike a balance between getting the defense right and getting the midfield right. And Szoboszlai, Van Dijk, Konate, and the whole of experienced players in the Liverpool setup have a lot on their hands tonight.
All right. That's one we'll be looking forward to. So I'm sure you have heard from the top-notch analysts right here on the show this wonderful morning. Why not just head straight down to the comment section of YouTube and also drop your comments, your predictions, and you can stand a chance to win something on the show, courtesy the team of Dominion Sport right here. And let's move away from that as Sanuruddin prepares for updates in the world of tennis, and definitely we'll be taking more updates when it comes to the major leagues across the world I'll wrap up the show. What do you have for us? I say so loaded right there happening in the ATP and also the WTA.
Yes, on the ATP front, the Monte Carlo Masters, the Rolex Monte Carlo Masters is going on in Monaco at the moment, and Carlos Alcaraz is defending champion. He didn't have a good outing in the second round of the American Sunshine Double. He got knocked out early in the competition, and that has thrown the race for the rankings, the top spot in the ATP rankings up between him and Yannick Sinner at the moment. So yesterday, go back to winning ways. It's his season now, his clay season. He's unbeaten in 14 consecutive matches on clay. That's an impressive record, and he's the current holder of the record as well. So we are seeing a backdrop of the form he had in 2022, where he won Barcelona, Madrid, and the French Open consecutively. So are we going to see a revamp of that? He defeated his opponent Sebastian Baez from Argentina 6-1, 6-3 in a trailing counter in a little bit over an hour to defeat his game. And Yannick Sinner is keenly contested opponent. Defeated Humbert in less than 1 hour 30 minutes as well. 6-3, 6-love. That was fantastic for him, and those were the standout performances from yesterday in the ATP. For this old man,
you're talking of Novak?
No, Novak isn't at this competition. But Gael Monfils, who got the wild card to the competition, the Frenchman, he played his last match in the ATP Masters 1000 Monte Carlo yesterday. He was defeated by Bublik 6-4, 6-4, and that was how his career ended on the front. Kasparov defeated Popyrin, Hukas defeated Dadjeri, Ethan Quinn was defeated by Atmin from French as well, one of the French faithfuls, and Mario Berrettini from Italy. He got a lock of the draw. Batistuta Agut withdrew from the match at the end of the day. So that was how he went down yesterday in the Monte Carlo Masters. And today, Medvedev will be playing against Berrettini, who got the wild card. Kaspar Garin will be playing against Zverev. August Hassan will be playing against Marin Cilic. Musetti will be playing against Valchot, and Rublev will be playing against Zizou-Begs. Zizou-Begs is Yannick Sinner's doubles mate in this competition. Fonseca will be playing Ringatech. Christian Moutet is going to be facing Casper Ruud, and Koboli will be playing against Blocks. On the WTA front, Masters 500, because they don't have the Monte Carlo Masters for them. Masters 500, the results yesterday, Susan Cristia, she won against Cross. She celebrated her birthday yesterday as well. She's 36 years old now.
6-3, 6-3.
6-3, 6-3, that was interesting.
Beautiful.
Ila defeated Grabber 6-4, 6-3. Kospach defeated Kirsten against 6-4, 6-1, 6-4.
Beautiful.
In trailing encounter, 2 hours 16 minutes. That was Karina.
2 hours 16 minutes.
Yes, she had to be on court because she forced the decider. She lost the first set. She forced the decider, and that was exciting to see. Pliskova defeated our opponents 6-4, 6-4. Taggart defeated Paulo Badosa from Spain, and in today in the fixtures for the WTA Masters 1000 going on in Australia, we have Jelena Ostapenko against Ila, Zhang against Potapova, Andreeva against Sloane Stephens, and those are the fixtures to look forward to today on the WTA front.
All right, that's the update when it comes to the WTA and the ATP happening.
And like I mentioned in my intro, Venus Williams got a wild card to play in the Madrid Open. She's had the host of wild cards. This is, I think, her fourth wild card appearance on the WTA front this season. So she's just enjoying the backdrop of what she's done over the years.
The success. It's okay for you to enjoy the success. Why not? Come on, you get it.
For me, I think it's time for her to call it a quiz.
But she's not calling it quits. Why you the one to help her?
For all the wild cards she's gotten this season,
she has not achieved anything.
She's got knocked out in the first round. So I don't see a reason. And in the preparations for this competition as well, Yannick Sinner and Alcaraz, they met in the pre-match.
I saw videos.
And they asked both of them, how are you feeling? Have you missed the rivalry? Because we all expect to see Yannick Sinner, and they said yes, we understand that it's been a while. The fans have seen that matchup, and they understand that they have to defeat all their opponents and play in the final if they want to play against each other. So I'm really looking forward to see something like that happening in the Monte Carlo Masters at the end of the week.
All right, beautiful. That's the update in the world of tennis. And wrapping up the show, let's just talk about the leagues across the world. Let's start off with the German. Let's start off with La Liga, where we have FC Barcelona Madrid. 76 points for FC Barcelona Madrid. 69 points. Villarreal Atletico Madrid. They're sitting third and fourth. Relegation fight. We have Rio Vadio, Levante, Elche, and Sevilla. Let me start off with you. FC Barcelona, a victory for them already, or do you think Madrid can still master anything through? Because right now it looks like a dicey situation for them. It looks like they're going to go trophyless this season. So you want to talk to me about that quickly?
I won't say Madrid are going to go trophyless just yet. They're
Ah,
still in the I am speaking based on what's available on ground.
Okay.
It's until they get knocked out of the Champions League that we might say that they are getting knocked out, and then the La Liga is not within the stronghold for them.
Yeah.
And in the last match against Mallorca, they lost by 2-1, further widening the gap that they have just behind Barcelona. And based on what it seems, it doesn't seem like Barcelona are going to, drop points to the point of allowing Madrid take over and be at the top of the table anytime soon. So, based on what it seems presently, with Barcelona's form in the Liga, at the same time with Real Madrid's form over time in the recent games in the Spanish league, it does appear that Barcelona might just take it all the way. Yes.
All right. You agree?
So Madrid trophyless.
So is that what you're agreeing on now?
Madrid, like I said, Madrid trophy. I'm asking that Madrid trophyless.
We speak based on facts.
Okay, so what's the fact now?
The fact is that until Real Madrid get knocked out of the Champions League, we
It's not
cannot
over.
see
But
it's
La
not
Liga- but La Liga
over
is
until it's
over.
over.
But La Liga is over.
But La Liga is over.
Yes.
All right, let's move away from that. Let's talk about the Serie A quickly. Inter Milan, Napoli, Sanudo, Milan. Let's talk about Como. Como looks like a team.
Como are going to the Champions League next season. That's done and dusted for me. They had a beautiful performance over the weekend as well. They played on Monday. Very exciting one to see. Napoli beat Roma, AC Milan in the third and second fight, and that made them leapfrog them. But I still feel Inter Milan will get the trophy at the end of the day. 72 points, 7 points ahead of Napoli who are in second position, and 9 points ahead.
Goal difference of 45.
But they're scoring freely. They defeated Roma 4-1, 4-2.
It's 4-2 actually. It's 4-2. Yeah, 4-2. And beautiful goal from Akan Çalhanoğlu. One of the goals of the
season. Contenders for the Puskás Award. So Inter Milan are in a class of their own in the Italian Serie A. They've built that consistency over time. For AC Milan, who were top of the league for a while, even without the European
in and off,
they lost a couple of points over a couple of weeks, and that has seen them drop down to third position, and Napoli won't be able to defend their title in my own opinion. They'll just be in the Champions League next season, and they just have that to compensate themselves.
All right. Let's look at the German Bundesliga match day 28. We said plus 45. We are talking a team with plus 73 goals different. We're talking FC Bayern Village right there, 73 points. Borussia Dortmund 64. RB Leipzig right there 53. We have Stuttgart on fourth position. Hoffenheim 5th. Bayern Leverkusen 6th. You look at the relegation fight. St. Pauli looks like a team going back finally.
Looks like
I think they're going back already.
It's just mathematics that's saving them now. I don't think mathematically.
It's just 2 points ahead of Cologne.
It's mathematics that is saving them at the moment. At the end of the day, they will still drop to the two Bundesliga at the end of the season for me.
Okay, we have Wolfsburg and we have.
They're playing Bayern this. I think they're playing Bayern this weekend, and they'll get trashed and demolished again. That will further dampen the spirit of their fans.
So it's safe to say Bayern has won the league already.
Definitely, this is a side that has been dangerously good. They are more or less the best team in the world presently because they have, I think, 100 goals this season. They've already had one loss in the Bundesliga. Arsenal. This is a team that succumbs to pressure at the most important time of the season.
Arsenal defeated the same Bayern this season. So
yes, exactly. But Bayern Munich are winning on their turf.
Arsenal are winning on their turf as well.
Arsenal, we are not certain about the consistency. This is a team that falls off at the perch when they need to do more to seize what they've been trying since the beginning of the season.
If you think Bayern have won the league, Arsenal have won the league as well. They both have similar points ahead of their second position.
You are thriving based on history. You are thriving based on history.
That's not history.
Bayern Munich have done it over and over, and they are still doing it.
Arsenal have done it over and over again.
Arsenal have lost 2 titles out of 4.
She doesn't
and they might lose the Premier League as well.
That is might. They are ahead of.
No, they might lose it too.
Bayern,
it started with might. It started with they might lift 4. They lost 2. They might also lose 2. And they might lose the 2 too.
Bayern too might also lose the Bundesliga.
Bayern will not
going
lose.
By what
They're not giving the vibe of them losing.
So Arsenal giving the vibe of us.
Let's just come back. Let's just come back. And I'm loving the bands and all, but we need to look forward to that and hope that whoever is winning on top would have something to drop on the table when we are coming here for the next show. So we have Paris Saint-Germain in the French Ligue 1. Paris Saint-Germain, we have Arsene learned, sad that they did not hold on to that wide gap after so much happened. They lost that game over the weekend.
They even went to court just to get the match between them and PSG. And it's not going to happen. PSG got a boost. Lens left a video over the weekend, and that's not what you want to see. With the game in hand, they are 4 points ahead. And PSG won't still play this weekend because of the boost from the Ligue 1 officials saying they have to rest well enough before they go to Anfield in the next game. So for our Sealands, I think they lost the league already. They just have to take consolation. They're going to play the Champions League next season.
Okay, let's look at the game right there in Scotland. Is happening times right now, and I'm wondering what can Hearts do to hold on to this league. If we can have the picture, I'm talking Hearts on 67 points, we have Rangers on 66 points, and we have Celtic on 64 points.
Okay, this result here, it is almost given the vibe that we can see normally in the NPFL, whereby the gap itself is not wide, and they have very few matches to play left because, as you said, Hearts is on 67, Rangers 66, and then we have Celtics on 64. So it's more or less it is wide open. I very much think that the league itself is wide open, and it is difficult to identify who exactly is going to go all the way to lifting the trophy at the end of the season. But it's difficult to predict, though. Yeah. It's because it's very, very tight. And
I think I'm tired to say Rangers and Celtic. I don't know if Heart can pull it through. If they had the heart to pull it through.
But for me, they've had a disappointing season. For you to be at top of the league, about I think 15 points up until the Old Firm derby last month, and now it's just 3 and 4 points or 7 points mathematically away from your closest rivals. And we know Celtic have done it time and time again. Rangers are perennial champions in Scottish Premier League. So it's just exciting to see a team challenge both teams to give them a ride for their money and say, okay, can we do this? I hope they get to the end of the day because, like you said, I'm tired of seeing Rangers and Celtic rule the land in Scotland. So we're here to see what will happen that, and we'll see them going to the championship qualification phase as well for the winner of the league at the end of the day. So it's just exciting times. And neutrals in Scotland right now, like what they are saying, Hearts fans are holding on to their hearts and say, want to win the league at the end of the day.
I love that. All right, that's all we can take on the show this wonderful morning. But before we go, please just head down straight to the comment section and drop your predictions ahead of the UEFA Champions League game tonight. Atletico Madrid against FC Barcelona, and we have Paris Saint-Germain welcome Liverpool. Quickly.
We won't allow her go without giving the prediction.
Yeah, just
because when we come back tomorrow, she will come out with us and say.
So what the prediction quickly?
For which of the games?
For Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool.
Okay, PSG to win.
PSG to win. What about Atletico Madrid, FC Barcelona?
It is a tight contest, as I mentioned, and it is not predictable.
So what's your prediction quickly?
I have none.
No, you must stop your prediction quickly.
Okay, I'm either going with a draw or Barcelona finding a way to secure the win.
Barcelona finding. What about you, quickly?
Barcelona have not lost to Atletico Madrid in the Camp Nou since 2006.
So what's your prediction?
I think Barcelona would obliterate Atletico Madrid.
Obliterate. Yes. I think that is perfect.
That's not far-fetched.
It is perfect.
Let's talk about Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool.
PSG would defeat Liverpool, and maybe by 3-1 or 4-1 at the end of the day.
All right, that's all we can think. Thank you so much for joining us this wonderful morning. I want to say a big thank you to my producer and the crew. We're going to see you again tomorrow at same station, Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe, and bye for now.